I spent my Saturday nights in New York, because those gleaming, dazzling parties of his were with me so vividly that I could still hear the music and the laughter, faint and incessant, from his garden, and the cars going up and down his drive. One night I did hear a material car there, and saw its light stop at his front steps, but I didn't investigate. Probably it was some final guest who had been away at the ends of the earth and didn't know that the party was over. On the last night, with my trunk packed and my car sold to the grocer, I went over and looked at that huge, incoherent failure of a house once more. On the white steps, an obscene word, scrawled by some boy with a piece of brick, stood out clearly in the moonlight, and I erased it, drawing my shoe raspingly along the stone. Then I wandered down to the beach and sprawled out on the sand. Most of the big shore places were closed now, and there were hardly any lights except the shadowy, moving glow of a ferry boat across the sound. And as the moon rose higher, the inessential houses began to melt away until gradually I became aware of the old island here that flowered once for Dutch sailors' eyes. A fresh, green breast of the New World. Its vanished trees, the trees that had made way for Gatsby's house, had once pandered in whispers to the last and greatest of all human dreams. For a transitory, enchanted moment, man must have held his breath in the presence of this continent, compelled into an aesthetic contemplation he neither understood nor desired, face to face for the last time in history with something commensurate to his capacity for wonder. And as I sat there brooding on the old, unknown world, I thought of Gatsby's wonder when he first picked out the green light at the end of Daisy's Dock. He must have come a long way to this blue lawn, and his dream must have seemed so close that he could hardly fail to grasp it. He did not know that it was already behind him, somewhere back in that vast obscurity beyond the city, where dark fields of the Republic rolled on under the night. Gatsby believed in the green light, the orgastic future that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning. So we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past.
The Great Gatsby surprised me by being one of my favorite books from high school. It also holds the record in my house for being the first book my younger sister actually enjoyed reading. We both had the same honors English teacher sophomore year, 2 years apart. Our teacher absolutely adores Gatsby and loves to teach it every year so all of our students can learn why it's her favorite piece of literature and why it's such an important piece of American literature on the whole. Her passion instilled a deeper love for reading in me and taught my sister how to love books in all of their complexities. The characters of The Great Gatsby sparked many conversations between my sister and I, and allowed us to become closer in a way that we weren't before. I chose the ending passage because as we are coming to the close of the decade where a large majority of us grew up, it's important to reflect on the events that have shaped us. While some nostalgia is nice, this passage reminds me that dwelling on the past will never let you create a future. Nick tried to teach Gatsby the same lesson, and although it ended extremely poorly for Gatsby, it was an extremely effective lesson for me.